All right, we are back. We are live. Going through Facebook and YouTube. It looks like. Yep, Facebook,
It's
YouTube,
live.
whatever. I'm just looking up here, making sure I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I get. Sometimes I get absent-minded.
Yeah.
Oh,
Story of our
Yeah,
life.
yeah. I have to say it is probably because I'm old, but he's older than I am.
Gotta reach it.
So, ladies, it's good for you to come onto the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Now, what I usually do, again, I told you before, I ask a question and you can answer however you feel like answering.
all right.
So, what got you interested and started in the paranormal?
You want to go first?
I can go first. You're the founder.
So what got me started into the paranormal was when I was 12. I saw my first full shadow bodied apparition. She must have been really tall or floating off the ground because I was staying at my aunt's house and I was on the top bunk. The next morning at breakfast, her two youngest daughters are validating what I had saw the night before. And as they're validating what's going on, they were like, "You're crazy. There's no lady in your room." Their bedroom door slammed shut. And we all looked at each other. And from that, moment on, I knew there was more out there than what we thought. And that's just what I've been after, is finding the unknown, finding answers to what we don't see and what else is out there.
Cool.
So, what got me into the paranormal was actually the movie White Noise. So learning they had the whole bonus features that they were talking about, like all the EVPs and everything like paranormal. That just kind of like spiraled me into the paranormal world, and then I had a lot of experiences, like haunted houses and things like that I just like became more in love with. And when I was in high school, I tried to start my own paranormal group. So it's always been there, but this is the first time that I've fully been diving in with a team. So I'm super excited for it. But yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. So, this other young lady that's in this video with us here, Samantha, is she part of your team?
She is. She's looks like she's out and about with her dad.
Okay.
What got her into the paranormal is she actually was hit by a car when she was younger and she died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that kind of opened her up, and she was able to see things and hear things, and she knew that there was more out there than what we thought as well. That, and also her dad's a paranormal investigator as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, Beyond Belief Paranormal out of San Antonio. P. Cardoza, that's her dad. I'm really good friends with him, and I found out she was very, very gifted, and I was like, I need her on my team. We're gonna help mold her and figure out what's out there and all that good stuff.
It's very interesting that's the kind of story background there, because I have heard a lot of stories of people who have had the experience of dying and then coming back, and then after that had happened to them, they've been able to have more of an open experience with the energies around them, and especially the spiritual energies around them, and be able to pick up on that a lot better and to run with it.
Yeah, that's I've heard that too. I know a lot of friends in the paranormal field who have either died or have had close encounters with death. I myself was really young when I had my close encounter as well. I had gotten to an accident when I was really young, and I almost bled to death. And so, yeah, like it makes you think like how crazy it is, like when the veil gets really, really thin and you're fixing to cross over, and you can like start sensing everything and feeling everything right off the bat.
I've not ever had a near death or a death experience, but I do have a type of gift from being able to sense the energies in the room, seeing auras, stuff like that. That is something that my mom passed down.
Oh, wow.
Her side of the family has always had it. It's always skipped a generation, which is weird because it never skipped over me. My mom had it, and then I had it, and then I know my daughter has it, but I was never allowed to teach her any of it because of the way her mother was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty certain my grandchildren both have it as well. So
Wow.
it's kind of
That's
interesting.
Yeah, I think my son is getting gifted as well. We'll be out and about somewhere, and he's like, "Mom, did you see the man?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you saw him too?" No. And so I'm like, "What man?" So I like talk to him and try to encourage him to talk to me about it. And I'm always telling him, I'm like, it's okay to see these things, but if they scare you, let them know, hey, I need you to back off. Like, you're bothering my bubble, so to speak. So
Right, getting a little too close into the personal field.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that too. So that is cool though that the children can actually see a lot more than we can,
Mhm.
and a lot of it's because their minds are not developed like ours. They haven't been lied to in the in the aspect of being raised. I feel that most of us who have not learned about it have actually been suppressed throughout this. Okay, um, and we are now starting again in our lifetimes into a what is called the Great Awakening. You
Right.
heard of that?
Yeah.
And what that's going to wind up being is more and more of the younger crew, younger kids, are going to be experiencing what some of us are capable of doing.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be able to see and feel and hear and speak with the other side.
Mhm.
And mankind's always been able to do that. It's just that we've been suppressed.
Right.
There was a suppression of it. I think a lot of it had to do with fear, and not just fear, but also wanting to maintain a control.
Mhm.
And by doing that, that's how a lot of us have, throughout the centuries and everything, have lost our abilities.
Yep.
But we're going to be gaining them back. So.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure of that. Like you have, so like our generation, we were taught that. See, I come from a Catholic household, so I was taught that this stuff is bad.
I'm
So you know what
sorry.
I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, but I understand that because I have family members that were from the Catholic faith, so I understand.
Yeah, it
Go
was
on.
something that we were taught wasn't supposed to be a thing. It was the sin, it was the devil, like it's not real, this and that. But then you look at us as parents, and we're the ones that are like, oh, look at this new crystal, look what this crystal does. Or let's look at the shadow, let's talk together and figure out what this shadow person is. Or, like we are teaching the crystal babies is what they call them, or the indigos, that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to see these things, to hear these things. Now let me help you understand what it is. And a lot of people are going to be, like you said, they're going to be awakened. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. We're entering the beginnings of it, the Great Awakening. So I am anticipating the full-blown portion of it where everybody starts understanding what's going on, and it just becomes a big flood of everybody being able to read the energies and understand the energies and speak to the other side, stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an awesome thing.
It is going to be great. I can't wait to see what the younger kids have. Samantha, she's the youngest one on our team. And so it's fun watching her go through her awakening and watching her go through her gifts and abilities, because she doesn't doubt that she's gifted her ability, because like I said, her dad's a paranormal investigator. But just seeing someone who's new to all this open up and experience it for the first time, it is so cool to see.
Oh yeah, it is. Very cool. See, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, we did a case in Kyle. Was it Kyle or Buda? Buda.
It's like
It's like
yeah.
yeah. And Samantha was picking up the deceased husband's like to the T, what he looked like, what he dressed, what he sounded like, and me and Vanessa were just like, "Yo, that's cool!" Like she just seeing her like validate herself and us seeing that she was aware of what she could do. It
Hmm.
was awesome.
That is really cool. Um, so when you guys go on your investigations, do you try to go to just regular places like haunted locations that are known to be haunted? Do you do cemeteries? Do you do anything else besides or with that?
So we try to do a mix of haunted locations and cemeteries as well, just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a range.
Hmm.
Um, our residential case was actually somebody who reached out to us, saying needing some answers after a really tragic time in their life, and we just
Right.
we're running. What was
What
that?
was that? Mind you guys, we are currently sitting in our favorite spot. We come to this coffee shop called the 666 Social here in San Marcos, and there's actually it's haunted. There's a haunted museum in this place. So sometimes it's either the baristas
Yeah.
or the homeowner or the business owner breaking stuff, or sometimes it's literally things flying off the counter. So now we're intrigued what it was.
So basically, with you sitting there and talking with us tonight, you may actually wind up be starting an investigation on us here, huh?
Might end up honestly, because before we were all just kind of hanging out in the coffee shop, and we heard like what sounded like dishes kind of just being
Hmm.
like together, and we were all looking at each other because nobody was near the dishes. And one of the baristas that opened, her name's Crow. She was like, "Yeah, they've been doing that all morning," and we're just like, "What can you say?" Like, you just gotta let it go.
That is cool. That is cool. So,
What are we
do
talking
you?
about?
I love it. So, do you guys like using voice recorders and stuff for like EVPs?
Yes. So we use voice recorders, voice boxes, music boxes, laser grids, tracer wires. We're fixing to get some Delco goggles to do the Estes method.
Hmm.
Um, we we have so much equipment; it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how much you could say that we have, but we have quite a few pieces of equipment. We got night vision, or the IR cameras, the
We have
infrared. I've got two. I think Joe's got two. Plus, we both have body cameras, and we got thermal cameras. So, and voice recorders. I got two of them. I'm planning on getting another one or two as soon as I can.
yeah. I was looking to add to our collection of voice recorders because I have three. But there's this really fancy smancy one that I swear you could hear like a fly fart. That's how like high tech this
Awesome.
one is. And I'm like, I need that one. So that's definitely on the bucket list.
My goal is trying to get enough voice recorders that we can put one in each room whenever we go to a place
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
and have them all running at the same time.
That would be good. The only thing is having to sit there and listen to all those voice recorders. That would
Yeah,
be
but I'll tell you, voice recorders do pay off.
Oh yeah. No.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you've caught stuff for yourselves, right?
Oh yeah. We just did a case in San Antonio, and we sensed a gentleman in the hallway, and I said, "Hey, like there's something over here. I don't feel very good. Like I feel sick. Like something's just not right."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Can you tell us your name?" And on the voice recorder, you literally hear a grown man saying, here's the name." And then my music box goes off. Like if he's haunting us. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And then a little bit while later, you hear two little kids talking. one of them says he's coming, and the other one says, "Oh, he's here," and then you hear that man laugh, and I'm like,
That's
"Wow,
that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So, what is like the most intriguing thing you guys have caught?
Ooh, you already know the answer to this one.
Which one?
Your hide and seek.
Oh yes, my hide and seek. So while we were here hanging out in the 666, we have a bunch of haunted dolls here. So they're part of the Parapeculiar Museum, and I decided that I was like dolls, kid spirits. I was like, I'm gonna play a game with them. I was like, they probably don't have many people that try to like act kid-like with them. So I was like, let's play hide and seek. So I start counting, and as after I get to 10, I'm like, ready or not, here I come. You hear, we're hiding.
That's cool. That is cool.
That was a unique approach, though, to get something out of like a spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Act like you're a child and you're going to play with a child.
Yes.
That is smart. That was a brilliant idea.
Yeah. We like to think out of the box and do things that normal investigators don't do. So like the very first investigation we went to this spot that's known to be haunted, and here in San Marcos. And one of the claims there is like a college kid who just kind of like passed away there. And there was another one where there was these soldier brothers who were supposed to have met after the war, but unfortunately both of them passed away. And so she was like, "Hey, what is your name?" And we got the name Andrew. And so she was like, "You know what? Like, let's kind of get to their level and talk like if we were just hanging out with them." And so she was like, "Hey, Andrew, are you here?" And the cat balls that we had laying out weren't going off. Nothing was happening. And so she goes, "He gave us his name and then ghosted us." Haha, ghost, get it? And then the cat ball goes off. And we're like, what the heck? So yeah, we like to like talk to them like if they're still here. Because I mean they are. Once you pass away, you're not gone. Like your story's not over. You're still a living you're still a living person, so to speak. And so we still talk to them like if they were living.
That's smart to do, actually.
It is cold.
What's that?
It's cold in here. Like we get little like cold spots here and there.
Are you getting cold spots floating around you, or is it all just in one spot? Or
I think they're coming and going because I was fine a couple of minutes ago, and now I'm cold again.
See,
like, and it's cold. It's that cold to where like you're shivering, and like
oh wow, it's a penetrating cold.
Really cold.
Penetrating cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like what I say. I can handle the cold. I can actually walk around in shorts and short sleeve shirt in like 40-degree temperature. That's the kind of person I am with my ability to handle the cold.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a dry cold, in other words, not damp. If it's damp, I can feel the penetration of it.
Right.
Where if it's just a dry, regular cold, no dampness to it, doesn't bother me.
Yeah. No, it just got cold.
So yeah, I see you got a candelabra behind you guys.
Yeah. Turn it on and get some heat.
Well, if the place is haunted, you can always ask them to move it around or do something to show us on video.
It's surprising if it went off. Like,
right, if it started,
I think about it, I can
up.
set up some stuff here and see what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in a place. See, what you're doing for us tonight is done for us, which is you're set up in a location where you know it's haunted or you know that it's got activity. We've had others that I don't recall them ever setting up in places like that, John. Okay. You're muted. Jojo.
He's on mute.
What'd you want?
Oh, I said the ladies are set up in a place where it's known to be having activity. Have there been other people that we have interviewed done that?
No, this is the first.
See,
Yes.
I like this. I like this.
Okay.
I thought so that this was a first. I don't recall anyone else ever setting up like this for us.
Well, honestly, we didn't even think it was going to be active today because there's days when nothing will.
Well,
Like you'll hear like a little clink or they like clink here, clink there, and that's it. But
Well-
today it's been extremely active. I think it has something to do with the weather yesterday because it was really, really, really windy and really rainy. We had hail. We had almost a tornado here. The weather was crazy. So I think that kind of helped charge whatever was here, and so that's why they're having them
that
on.
and the possibility of the solar storm that's happening right now. And you guys are in a lucky spot. You might be able to see. It says the northern lights could be visible in Texas
Let's go. Let's go. Pat.
due to the solar storm.
So then that means we have cosmic energy hitting the Earth pretty heavily. If
Yeah.
we have that kind of activity of being able to see the northern lights that far.
That would be man. That'd be cool to see it from here.
Yeah.
And then so that I also am a firm believer in the fact that cosmic energy also helps with energizing and triggering hotspots around the world too.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe what Damien's at.
think about it.
Maybe.
Think about it.
I'm thinking
The witches of the past. Practitioners of witchcraft of the past. They believed in all that. They believed in the cosmic energies. They believed in the Mother Earth. They believed in the great trees of life. And I honestly believe that our planet had several great trees that would be considered great trees of life. Like one, for instance, if you look at Devil's Tower, Wyoming, out in the middle of nowhere, and they're saying that's a butte. But if you look at it, it looks like a petrified tree stump.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah. So I am a firm believer in the fact that we had giant trees on this planet at one time. So, but yeah, I mean, cosmic energies and everything that can trigger. I believe it could trigger activity. So
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
And this might be a first time because according to this map, the areas in red are going to be the ones to see it. They have a better chance of seeing it. And it's green from Chicago all the way down to Austin.
green.
So it looks like
Said
we're
red.
going to have up here in Wisconsin, we might have the best chance of seeing this.
Let's head.
Well, that means I will be outside with my camera or cameras.
Just take a bunch of pictures.
Just have the drone out there.
Yeah, it gives you time to practice your drone.
Yeah, if the winds died down enough, because the wind does have a hell of a factor in that thing.
Oh no.
So, what other kind of places do you wind up going, or any other activities you picked up at other places? You got any recommendations?
Me personally, I like going to this place in San Antonio called the Devil's Den. It's a little more on the crazy side just because back in like the 80s or the 90s, there was actually 2 murders. 2 college kids were sacrificed out there by Satanists. And then since then, you have kids going out there practicing. And so it's really a big hotspot for like demonic stuff, I guess you can say. I always get scratched every time I go out there. So that's one of my places to go to. The Devil's Bridge is pretty fun, but that's a spot that everyone in San Antonio knows about. We have a spot here that we like to go to. It's the Thompson Island Bridge. That's where we got our first investigation. That's where we met Andrew, our boy.
Boy, Andrew.
But lately we've been doing a bunch of like residential cases, helping out people who need help and can't seem to what's going on in their house.
Those seem to be kind of fun for
Cemetery.
swimming. We can't go.
The one by my house.
Oh yeah, and there's a cemetery that we've gone to a couple times. Last time we went, we had a speaker out there, and we were like, well, let's play some music that they would, know about. And so I decided to play because it's an old Mexican cemetery, like a lot of Hispanic people are buried there. And so I played a song that they would normally play whenever someone passes away at Hispanic funerals, and they didn't like that too well. Our speaker literally flew off the monument, and we looked at each other and was like, "Whoa!" Like that was insane.
It startled the heck out of me.
So you kind of aggravated them.
Just a little bit, yeah. I didn't mean to. I did apologize. I did say I was sorry.
I do find a lot of times though when you do investigations in cemeteries, you probably should ask for permission, and not from authorities, but when you're there, ask for permission from the possible spirits.
Right.
So have you ever had any incidents where you'd be doing an investigation and your equipment would fail on you?
Well, sometimes our batteries will.
Our batteries die a lot. We'll charge them completely charged, and then we get to the location, and then they're like, boom, dead. And we're like, oh, well, that's lovely.
Well, that's why I have multiple batteries.
Yeah. And then
I make sure to have multiple batteries.
That's common.
I just got a brand new Poltercom Pico, brand new, never used it. I brought it here today to show the girls. I was like, hey, look at our new piece of equipment. And it was working fine. And we were listening to whatever came through the Poltercom. And we heard, what was it? I tried.
It's like, I tried my best.
Yeah. And then boom, it fries out. And I'm like, what? No, we didn't even get to use it.
He's like, you know what? I tried. I give up.
Yeah. Because we were talking about coffee and about making coffee. And then I said, one of the baristas had made some kind of joke about like the ghost in coffee. And that's when you had heard, I tried my best, and then it fried out. So it's like the ghosts were like, oh, okay, well, guess what? It's not working no more. I'm just like, great. Lovely.
Looks like Samantha's cat wants to get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a one thing that I could probably ask. You ever run across like when you're out doing your investigations, run across the animals like that tend to have an interest in what you're doing?
Our residential case, they had a lot of dogs. The dogs were extremely interested in what we were doing. They were definitely barking a lot as well. But and then they had that goat.
They had a goat. like one of those goats that has the spiraling ram. Like I guess it was a ram, wasn't it? Because it had like the weird spiraling horns.
The spiraling horns that had like the straight part bone on it?
Yeah.
Or is it just a curled back kind of horn? Solid.
I'm trying to remember now.
And more curled back.
I think it was solid and more curled back.
Then that would be a goat.
Okay. Well, that thing was like making its noise when we got there, loud as can be. Mm-hmm. And then once we started the investigation, it was quiet. Real quiet. Didn't make any noise.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And we were like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just in my experience, animals and children have an ability to be able to see things that are out there that we can't see.
Right.
Or that some of us who are not more sensitive than the others can see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a little pit bull. Well, she's 3/4 pit. Awesome little pup. She will either stand at the base of the stairs and look up the stairs, but won't bark, just kind of stare up the stairs. Or she'll come over, jump up on the couch, and something will catch her attention, she'll get up and look up the stairs. Oh, they went on mute on us.
No, she had to go grab something really quick, so she will be right back.
That's fine. That's fine. You know, Samantha's been on mute this entire time. If she wanted to talk, she could take it off mute.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, Samantha.
I know that's we're like quiet.
So, Samantha, I see you have a cat.
I have a cat, 6 dogs. My brother has a snake and a hedgehog.
Got a whole zoo up in there.
Wow.
They got a zoo.
Those two.
That's true.
So, okay, Samantha, for you, do you find that your cat has a tendency of stopping and like staring at the wall, staring at the ceiling? Do you have stairs that it kind of like stares at?
No, that's one of our old men. We call him old man because he's very old. He's a pit bull. He stays in the back majority of the time because that's where everything happens at night. It's majority near the closet. I have stuff in the back. So yeah. But the cat is just a lunatic. He's crazy.
That's funny because I've always thought cats were a little bit off. I'm more of a dog person. I think that's probably why.
Same.
You said that saying that, Joe, and it was cats that saved your ass.
Yeah, but still, you know, they're still sneaky little shits. You know, like George Carlin always said, you can walk in a room, you find a broken lamp, and if you got a dog and a cat, well, you look at the dog's going to be guilty as hell. He did it, you know. But the cat takes no blame. They take no blame for nothing. They just go about their business. It's like, I don't know how that happened. Ask the dog. They don't take no blame for nothing.
Yeah, they blame the dog majority of the time.
You see a cat, all of a sudden, let's say you got a big glass sliding door to go outside, right? You just wash that thing, clean it all up. Cat goes running across the door and goes head first right into that door because it's so clean. You're not going to see a cat admit any fault. It's going to go walk around like, yep, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. And later you're going to go behind the couch and find them going, look at me out. Look at me out.
Yeah, he's crazy. See, I told you he was old. He's a crazy old man.
Cats are unpredictable. I don't like cats. I'm not a cat person.
So, Sid and Nessa, do you guys have animals?
No.
I don't anymore. I used to have a snake, but my landlord made me get rid of it. So,
Who your landlord?
yeah.
I have a
So you
7
said,
that counts.
what was that?
I have a 7-year-old little boy. That kind of counts.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, I know in the story you were telling earlier, he sees things too, right?
Yes, he sure does. And it's crazy that I'll validate him or he validates me. It's, yeah.
Definitely continue keeping him up on that, because it's not that often that you'll find certain children that can actually have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
So. Oh goodness! So how often do you guys get to go out and do your investigations?
Lately it hasn't been as often. We tried to do like every weekend or every other weekend, but we've all been super busy.
Yeah.
I'm an event manager, so like the place that I'm working has had a lot of events lately, so I've had to like go, foresee that and everything. But we're trying to. I know we have one coming up next weekend.
We have one coming up this weekend.
This weekend, oh my god. See, like I'm all over the place.
So we have a residential case this weekend, but then we also have a collaboration next weekend
That's
with
the one I was talking about.
Jose from Finding the Paranormal. He's coming down from Dallas, and we're going to do a collaboration that stars Stickers and Stars. They have 2 haunted dolls, Sarah and Dipstick. Dipstick's a clown. Sarah is a beautiful, beautiful doll, and it's known to get pretty active in there. So we're doing a collaboration with Jose from Finding the Paranormal.
Cool.
And then the next day we have an event here at the 666 that we'll be helping out and hanging out and doing our stuff. And then we have an event September 7th. We're going to be going to Palestine, Texas for the Parapalooza.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be staying there, so
Yeah.
Parapalooza. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's put on by Robbie Brown and Amy. Oh, man. What's Amy's last name?
I don't know.
I'm really bad with names. I'm really, really horrible. Amy Smith. And there's one other person that's helping them put it together. I'm new to the other 2 people's names. I know Robbie. Robbie's one of our good friends. So that's how I knew about Parapalooza.
All right, that's cool. And that's on which day?
September 7th.
Okay, so that's a ways away.
Yeah.
A few months.
Yeah. So between now and then, we'll be squeezing in investigations when we can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and Joe doesn't get to get out that often, and of course my schedule sucks because I'm a delivery driver. Start out in Wisconsin and on Sunday afternoons, and I wind up not getting back until Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, it's kind of, it sucks, but it's cool too because I actually get to go to the places, some of the areas
Get out every day.
What's that, Joe?
At least you get out every day. I'm locked up in this asylum all the time.
Oh no, free Joe.
It's not my fault your wife locked you in the room and takes the key.
Stray jacket's still on back order.
If you'd actually listened to her, she wouldn't do that to you.
No, that's not actually true. The reason I don't get out is because I'm disabled. And if it's too cold outside, I don't leave. I hibernate like a bear in the wintertime. I was diagnosed December 4th, 1995 with AML leukemia.
Actually, Joe, take over for just like a minute and a half. I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah. We know what that means. I actually died in flatline multiple times, but one particular time that was the longest. It was like 3 minutes or whatever before they got me back. I had an out-of-body experience where I was like floating above my body, watching them with, use the paddles on my chest and stuff. And I ended up out into the waiting room just outside of the emergency room area, watching them take care of my mom because at the time my mom had like some serious heart problems. So if she got too stressed out, too excited or something, her heart would go all wanky and they'd have to give her a shot and calm her down and get her heart rate back down to normal. And that's what they were doing. Well, when they finally got me back, my brother, my dad, and my stepfather were in the room with me. I asked them, like, how's my mom doing? Don't worry about your mom, I said, no, how's she doing? I mean, did they get her stabilized? And it's like, how do you know about that? And it's like, I saw that. So it's kind of freaky. but it also opened up my mind to, everything that's paranormal, from the UFOs to the cryptids to the spirits, all of it. So myself, I'm personally fascinated with the cryptids, so that's one of my things.
What's your favorite cryptid to like look after?
The one that we've actually been looking for the last this will be the 4th year going out there. The Beast of Bray Road. It's also known as the Michigan Dog Man, and it's like a bipedal wolf man type creature.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But what we stumbled upon when we got out there, we thought, oh, we're just going to hear stories about this dog man and the Beast of Bray Road and all this.
Nope.
No,
That
there's a lot out
property that we luckily got access to has been dubbed the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin because of all the activity on that land, and how much
there's way more
activity there is. Everything from UFOs to mist, pictures of mist being on the camera, to possible portholes opening up, to
portals and stuff.
Pictures of unidentifiable cryptids or creatures, casts, weird sounds at night, weird lights. It's a very unique place. We actually got chased off that property by fog because it rolled in so fast, and if we would have stayed there, it would have damaged all the cameras.
See, here's something that I've thought of since that. See, the guy that owns that property, he has like 7 different trail cams, and he's got probably now over 300,000 pictures that these trail cams have shot. Because each time they trigger a 3-picture series.
Okay.
And they're within seconds of each other. He's got a photo album he showed us that was from one trail cam that was triggered the entire day.
Oh, wow.
It was constantly triggered. And every time it was snapping, it showed, in the first part of it, it showed this mist coming in, and then the mist stayed there the entire day.
What? That's crazy.
So we're sitting out there on a Saturday night with another investigator out of Illinois that came up to sit out there with us.
Yeah, he's going to be going. He's going to be joining us.
He's going to be going back out there with us in August.
Oh, wow.
So we were there probably, I think it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night until about 3 o'clock in the morning. We actually intended to stay there until like
sunrise and after.
Till like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Because that's when the most activity that happened to these trail cams was like shortly after sunrise.
Yeah.
That was triggering this. So we were trying to be there to actually see firsthand the activity that goes on.
So we had all of our equipment set up. Okay. I didn't have my second camera at the time, but I do have a spotter scope that has a camera that can be put on. I caught an orb with that, which I have a video of that. And then right around, what was it, Joe? Around 2:30-ish? Something like that. That's when that mist or fog or whatever it was came in.
Yeah, it was after we lost the bipedal figure in the cornfield.
Well, you've lost that. Yeah, they got him, and the other investigator had the other investigator had a big
bipedal figure on the thermal.
Oh, wow.
He had a big screen with a thermal camera. And they actually were watching this bipedal figure. I left the group, or left those two, and went down the field, walking the drive path that was between the hayfield and the cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
Had my body camera, my regular camera, a flashlight, and my voice recorder all on me at once going. They lost sight of this thing. As I walked away, I heard what sounded like something in the cornfield following me.
Oh wow.
You got them on video talking about how they lost sight of this, and it may have followed me down in the cornfield. And then you got me on the audio and video talking to whatever was following me, telling it to come out and talk to me.
So it's kind of cool when you put his audio.
And I was solo. I was out there by myself, so I had nobody with me. I had no weapon with me at all. So.
Oh man, imagine if the thing would have jumped out at you.
It would have scared me. I wouldn't have ran. I would have stood my ground.
What would you have asked it?
I would have asked what it was. I would have asked it why it was there and what it needed.
Okay.
Yeah, see, most of those eyewitness reports from this thing, they're more like it scares the hell out of the person. I don't think I've actually heard of anybody saying they've been attacked by the beast of Bray Road.
And then if it's an actual lichen,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm that crazy.
Now you got us thinking. Now we're like, what could it be? Like, even
Think
we
about
want
that. If it is an actual lichen, I would want. I'm 55 and I'm a crazy son of a bitch when it comes to that. I would actually accept being turned and being a lichen. Because, for one, I would quit aging. For two, I'd gain a hell of an ability.
Right.
And I would most likely be able to control it. So
Just insane that just knowing that you'd be able to say that you've seen it, you've talked to it. That's cool right there.
yeah, I mean it was really, really weird. And then I got to a point because there's this like marshy area down at the one end. I got to a point where, and this was in August, where
the
mosquitoes were killing me. And I'm out there in shorts and short sleeve shirt, So and the mosquitoes were just eating me alive because I didn't think about bringing any spray.
Oh,
so
no.
I turned around and I headed back. On my way back, out of the corner of my eye, I seen something white and low to the ground running through the hayfield. And I turned. As I turned, I had my body camera and my video camera turned with, but I never caught it on video. It was really, really strange. So, but yeah, that's one of my encounters.
That's really cool, though.
That is a really cool encounter. Like, I'm kind of jealous that I don't have an encounter like that.
Well, we've been going back and forth to that property for 4 years, like once a year.
I'm trying to, at least once a year.
The first day we went there, that was after actually driving down the road, because our first day out that way, we actually drove down Bright Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
we wanted to check out exactly that location at night. And it's about a 2.5 mile long road. There's no lights
except for the houses.
Light the road except the moonlight and your headlight.
And we actually were out there on a full moon.
And
perfect time.
There's sections of that road where you've got like wooded trees on both sides of it. You've got farmhouses, but they're deep in away from the road and far in between. So there's no way to get any light on this road. So, driving down that road by yourself late at night, you see a wolf or a coyote eating roadkill. Yeah. The mind can play tricks with you.
Yeah, the mind does have a way of playing.
Many people see what they've seen over the course of since 1936. I think that was the first one reported or recorded. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. There's something that's got to be there. And with all the Native American history, in Wisconsin, it could
Fan of
be
the
a
birds.
skinwalker.
She just
there a
asked about
bird?
that. She's like,
I'm
"Is there a
sorry.
bird?" I said, "I think Mark has a bird."
I was like,
No,
tripping.
Joe has a bird nest like right outside his window.
Oh yeah. The birds you're hearing. There's they build a bird nest in my two windows. There's like three of them in the office, and the one, even if it's closed, you can hear them because this is an old trailer built in the 70s, so the windows aren't that good for installation. But they just hatched the other day, so they're going back and forth and feeding the birds. I can see it happening out of the corner of my eyes.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I thought I was having a stroke or something.
Yeah,
No, there's actually birds.
You
They're,
hear that
they're
bird?
feeding the young ones in the nest up over
See-
here in the corner.
See, I actually pay attention.
The way she
But anyway, Joe, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your story there.
Sorry.
Now my train derailed, but that's okay.
Well, no, it's just that the first night we went out there, it was a full moon night, and we actually did drive the entire length of Bray, and then we went over to
We discovered that. Yeah, we discovered that it's a perfect location for the mind to play tricks if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You see a wolf, you see a coyote, you're gonna picture it a little bigger. That thing kind of goes up on its brings itself up using its front paws. It's gonna look bigger all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, it's doing that because it sees you coming, and it's guarding that food, and it's like,
but
do I have to run? Do I have to fight? What do I got to do?
the other road, which isn't too far away from there. Can't remember the name of the road. I know it starts with a B.
Bowers?
Bowers, yes, thank you. Bowers Road. That's where the property is for the gentleman that we made contact with and was able to get access out there. And
I'm a big fan of going places solo, though.
She could go every.
oh, you like going solo too, huh?
Yes. That's I feel what is it? The most like whenever we do investigations, I like to go by myself or just be like, it's where I feel the most connected to everything that's around me. I'm a big energy feeler.
Well, in this world,
So
I'd go by myself, but in this world, I'm too afraid of not the paranormal stuff that's out there, the real stuff that's out there, the people, all these people and the shootings all the time and the killings all the time.
Yeah,
and all
but where
Yeah.
we're at out there, you don't have that.
I'm good. I'm good when it comes to knowing my surroundings and stuff because I worked security and stuff for many years.
mm-hmm.
So I'm very aware of my surroundings, but I don't think I'd ever go out even shopping by myself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the same way because I'll be in a public setting, I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to be around all these people. But if I'm gonna go off into some woods or whatever, I'll be like, hell yeah, but bye guys.
Yeah, it's funny because we'll go on investigating, and I don't even need to ask who wants to do the Estes method. I'm like, we're gonna do an Estes method. She's like, okay, we need to do it in that room.
I'll be like, put me in, coach.
Okay, it's Vanessa. She's our solo investigator. I'm excited to see what happens when we go to
That's me.
Parapalooza because she will
That's me.
also by herself.
Yeah. Actually, one of my things I did recently, well, not recently, but it was December. I went to the Goatman Bridge in Denton, and I went walking around those woods all by myself. And then I was live, and I was like, oh yeah, guys, telling the lore of the area. And then somebody was like, some people were murdered out there recently, and I was like, well, turn it right back.
No, not for me. I'd be right there, and I'd stay out there, and I'd do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't have that is the weird thing. I've been involved in the paranormal since I was about 14 years old, and I've embraced I've embraced the fact that I'm able to sense energies and see auras and stuff like that because my mom had always told me the stories about it. She'd always explained how things worked for me. So I started understanding that, and I got really decent at being able to figure things out with it. When I was 18, I channeled energy myself. I had a partner that was helping me with it, and that person like passed out on me, and I had the whole energy flow to myself at that point, which was really interesting to say the least.
No.
But so I've been involved in it, and over the years, I've never had the flight response. It's always been if something appears, if something shows itself, if there's anything around me that like feels negative or anything, I won't run. I will actually turn towards it and hold my ground.
I am very much like a mix, like a good mix. Like I will stay until like every fiber of my body is screaming at me to leave. Because it's like the more curious I am, the more I'm like, yeah, I want to go further into like this area. I want to dive deeper into like the energy that I'm feeling. And then like so when like we're doing the Estes method or wherever they pull me out, I'm like, I wasn't ready. I was like, why'd you do that?
Yeah, like the last time we did an Estes method, she was like breathing really heavy and she was just like somewhere else, but she was getting affected. And I looked at one of our friends and she looked at me, she was like, dude, it's time to pull her out. It's like, yeah, it definitely is. So we pulled her out and she's like, hey, what? And we're like, you're getting too in the zone. Like, we are not ready for that part yet. So take a step back.
So have you ever used a Ouija board?
Me personally, yes, I have.
I have not. I respect it and I respect those who mess with it. I just personally will not do that. That's something that I will not do.
Okay.
Actually, I have a oh my god, what's the
Planchette?
Planchette. Yes, I have a plant. Oh, hold on.
She has a
Where is it?
planchette tattoo.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is cool.
I mean, I've been around someone who messed with
I
it.
see she's got a lot of ink.
I do.
She
I
does.
do. I'm pretty covered. So
Oh yeah.
That's the only ink I have.
I just have one baby. One.
Yeah, there it goes.
Just right there.
Nice.
It's my little tarot cards and my ghosties.
My favorite one is the planchette one because it says as above, so below. So, and I'm a really big believer of that. So
That's actually a chant from a witch's
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Oh yeah, she's a
witch's spell. Yeah. So do you use crystals?
yes.
Yes, I do.
Not a lot.
I love crystals. I'm a crystal junkie. I use them mostly for like my cleansings and just, like when I need to like get
I
more.
should have my props down where I can get a hold of them.
Ooh, look at that. I like that.
This is my viewing crystal.
Oh, cool.
I'll get tea lights out and put a pentagram of sea salt on the table. Set this in the center of it, and I'll put the white candles with a red candle.
Okay.
White candles on the outside, red candle facing me.
Okay.
The white candles are to create the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
The red candle is to channel the energy to me. I use the same method when it comes to Ouija boards. I would much rather, if I'm doing Ouija with the partner, I would be the one that would channel whatever energy is coming in.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
I'm big into candle magic, so like
Yeah, she's huge into candle magic. She loves candle magic.
Candle magic is interesting.
I'm also Pyro, so no, I'm just kidding.
This is my lapis lazuli.
That is so pretty.
It's my lapis. And then my power ring that I actually had made.
Oh wow. I love
It's
Ooh, that's a charged boy.
sterling silver. And can you guess what the stones are?
Can you hold it up again?
Yes, definitely.
Is it obsidian?
No, it's not obsidian.
Tourmaline. Is that it's a black tourmaline, and then it looks like it's clear. No,
I was like, I can't tell.
it's either clear quartz or opal.
Opal.
Nice.
Boom.
I was like, the only
I-
crystals I have on me are
I
carnelian and tiger's eye.
And the one I got.
Tiger's Eye is a good one. And carnelian's pretty good.
How dare you?
I know.
If you're ever in a situation where you need to make sure that you're like protected, amethyst is one of the better ones.
Oh yeah.
Purified amethyst. But no, that ring, it's interesting. The tourmaline, it found me back in 2017. We went out to visit with my parents in California, and that was the last year I got to see my mom.
Oh wow.
And we stopped in Las Vegas overnight on the way back, and then went to an In-N-Out Burger to have breakfast, lunch type of thing before we left Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Came back out from eating, and I opened the side door of the van. I looked down. There's this little black pouch down right next to the back tire.
Oh wow.
I reached down, I grabbed it, and I felt that it had something hard in it. Got everybody in the car. I got in my position in the car. I sat down, and I pulled that thing out of my pocket, and I opened it up. And it was a black tourmaline about that long.
Oh wow.
And it had a little tiny white speck in it. But it was all, the rest of it solid black. So I always say that found me to help me get through the loss of my mom.
Yep.
Okay. The opal, I've had that opal since I was 18 years old. I purchased it from an occult store out in California where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt that it was time. I had the money to have it done, so I felt that it was time. And I took it to a local rock shop that we have here in Madison. Had them cut the opals, and then I had them cut the tourmaline and satin and sterling silver.
That is so pretty.
So this ring has a lot of significance to me because of the fact that it holds one of my first uncut true stones, and it holds a part of the stone that got me through the loss of my mom.
Yeah.
And I call it my power ring because that one that draws a lot of power.
It
A lot
is
of
really
energy.
powerful. When you picked it up right off the bat, I felt the energy. I was like, holy crap. That bad boy's he's charged. He's
Yeah.
a big, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And believe it or not, there are not a lot of Wiccans that can wield an opal and a onyx or a tourmaline together because of the power and the energy that comes through. So I'm kind of unique that way, which is cool.
Tourmaline within itself, that sucker's really, really good to have for like protection of energy.
Oh, definitely.
We got to wrap this up.
Yep, we do. I do apologize. I got off on other stuff.
No,
So, what do you got planned that you're going to be doing, or any, coming up events, anything like that?
yeah, so September
I know
7th.
you said something about this weekend, but
Yes. This weekend, we are going to be here at the 666 Social. September 7th, we'll be out in Palestine for Parapalooza. The date's not released yet, but also going towards the end of September, we will be doing the Paranormal Fest in San Antonio, Texas. And then we'll just be going on with flow, I guess.
okay, cool. Well, ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
And thanks, Samantha. I know I didn't get to talk to you much.
She's like that all the time, though. She's really quiet.
So appreciate you coming and joining us, and hopefully you guys had a good time.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you set up in a place that's known to have activity. That is really cool. And the fact that we may have got some sort of activity on audio and camera because you guys had that.
You'll have to go back and watch it now, won't you?
Yeah,
we'll have to ask.
We were
like,
gonna
what
go
was that
ask.
noise?
We'll have to go noisily go out for sure.
Whatever that crash was, yeah.
So, until next week, everybody, stay safe. Remember, anything's possible. You can catch me tomorrow on Got Stories to Tell. I think that shows up on the Things Network. And next Friday, we've got Darren Buss from the Things Network. He's also a Wisconsin native. He's got some pretty interesting stories to tell. And Mark, you're going to like this guy because he might have one of our first investigations of the year for us.
Cool.
So we're going to talk about that on the next Friday, the location that we might be going to check out.
Nice.
So stay safe. Remember, anything's possible. Subscribe, like, share. And thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.